Hi everybody, Steve Griffiths here, developer of the MTPredictor software program. With this really sharp fall here on the British pound US dollar over the last week or so after our Brit exit vote here in the UK to leave the European Union, I wanted to have a look at the longer term charts actually, because there's some very interesting position on the British pound US dollar, in particular on the very long term charts. So what I want to do is go out to a monthly chart. I don't normally look at this time frame as long as this, but there's some very interesting pictures unfolding at the moment. The main one I want to look at is the run up from back in June 2001 up to the high in November 2007. If I right mouse click here, do Elliott wave intermediate, you can see how this was a perfect 5-wave sequence as found by MTPredictor, with the high up there on November 2007 right at our typical wave 5 WPT. So we nailed the high absolutely perfectly. So what do we normally say will happen after a completed 5-wave sequence? Well, normally we suggest the market will retrace back into the DP from the wave 4. And as you can see, it did that basically in November 2008 and actually went through it. But here's the interesting part, because what we now say is that if you go through the DP from the wave 4, which obviously we did, then the market is likely to retrace back the entire prior 5-wave sequence. In other words, the entire prior 5-wave rally up from June 2001 up into November 2007. You take the DP off the start of the sequence, which was here, and that is an area of where the market is likely to go to. And look what's just happened on this last couple of days trading here on the Brit exit vote. The market chopped sideways basically for years and years, from January 2009 right the way up there into May 2014, which was the high there, which actually was the DP off that pivot. You can see the pivot high there caught that DP beautifully. But the point being is that, I'll just take that off so we don't confuse things. The point being is that this area of support was actually an area of support that we had on our charts basically since 2008, since December 2008. Once we closed or made 2 consecutive closes on a monthly basis below this wave 4 decision point support level here, the next area of where the pound was likely to go to against the dollar was down into this area here, which as you can see is basically 121 to 129, which is this area here. So who would have thought in all these years here that we had this major support down here that the market was likely to go to, and it took the vote for us to leave the European Union for the pound to do that. And as you can see, this is where the pound is at the moment at 129. So we have now reached right at the top area of this particular zone. Obviously this is a very wide zone because we're working on a monthly chart, but it'll be very interesting to see what happens over the weeks and particularly the months ahead to see whether we make a low in this area here, which is around, well, about 120, 121, around about there you can see, up to about 129, which is where we are at the moment. So a wide range, but we'll wait to see whether we make a monthly low in this particular area before the current decline on the pound actually comes to a stop. Obviously if we close below that, then the market can keep on going down. But we'll wait to see what happens in the next few weeks and few months to see whether support can come in this wide range here of around 121 to 129, which is what we've hit here. But I thought that was a very interesting chart to share with you all, particularly as we had this lovely 5-wave sequence going up into here, and we then had the move down into the DP support off the start of that sequence, which was right back in June 2001, which is the Brit exit vote, has taken us into that major support level there now. So a very interesting position on the British pound US dollar using MTPredictor.